This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool. It helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/pixelnba. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, happy Friday to everybody that's celebrating the Friday. I don't know, there might be people out there that's not celebrating the Friday. They might have to work on the weekends or something. I don't know. But anyways, happy Friday to those that do celebrate Friday. But what I wanted to overall talk on, I don't know if I've done an episode overall talking about Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. I might have, hold on for a second, let me see real quick. I might have done an episode talking on them too. But for those that don't know, Jake Paul is really trying to fight Conor McGregor right now. And, hold on, search, going on Google right now. No, I'm not seeing anything. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about Jake Paul and Conor McGregor real quick. So, for those that don't know, Conor McGregor, one of the best fighters of all time, all right? Dominated the UFC, got into a boxing match with Floyd Mayweather and almost dominated him. Like, I feel like if Conor McGregor probably would have been, if he had like some practice matches beforehand, I feel like that Floyd Mayweather would have had, like, you know, he had been a little bit more cautious about that fight, but but even, like, you know, like, I mean, of course, like, he's, Conor McGregor sparred in practice and all that, and he still did good, but, I just think it was more so of a UFC thing that was kind of holding him back. Like, you know, you guys see how long a UFC round lasts versus how long a boxing, fight lasts. Like, UFC, so many different things can happen, and with boxing, it's like, you know, it's just, it's a, like, all body, like, game for boxing, but I feel like it requires more of your body when it's UFC. But anyways, yeah, Conor McGregor, he's dominated literally everything he's been a part of. All right, so Jake Paul, one of the most cringiest YouTubers of all time, like legit, 2017 all the way up until now. This man has not changed under any circumstances. I mean, what really blew up Jake Paul back in 2017? Well, Jake Paul, so like, I've been following Jake Paul ever since the Vine days. Jake Paul originally blown up from Vine, him and his brother Logan Paul. And Jake Paul, he just seemed like he was like kind of out of the way. Both of those brothers was like kind of out of the way. Like, they wasn't really doing a whole lot of cringy things, but Jake Paul got into making music. That's like every content creator's dream, is to come out with a music video that blows up. Like, you can literally look at any content creator, they make music. Now, me on the other hand, I don't make music like Jake Paul. I just make beats. Like, I would have to say, like, comparing his music to my music, I should have won some Grammys by now. Like, I'm saying, like, I feel like my music, I feel like a lot of people would say that my music is better than Jake Paul's. Like, I can't think of a time when somebody was all like, oh yeah, that Jake Paul song was actually good. It was dope. Like, never heard nobody say that. Now, with my music, on the other hand, I have heard people tell me that my music is good. So I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, you know, no disrespect to his music, but it ain't something that I don't hear people go out of their way to listen to. So 2017 hits. I think Vine had just ended. Or did it end before? I think it was 2017. I can't remember necessarily when Vine had ended, but it wasn't like Jake Paul. I think he might have posted like Vine was already a small video platform, but I think he would post videos, might have been promoting like something on social media, like other platforms outside of Vine. So Jake Paul, 2017, his song "It's Everyday Bro" blows up. literally the song of the year. I would have to say that. Song of the year. Was it the best song? No, it was not. Was it better than a lot of other songs that came out in 2017? No. Because I think Kendrick Lamar's album Damn came out that year, and I refuse to believe there is somebody out there in this world, unless they're a Jake Paul fan, like they a legitimate Jake Paul fan, boy or girl, if they tell me that Jake Paul is better than Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, you are on drugs. Like, you are actually, you went to like the core of downtown Seattle and you got some crack or meth. One of the two. I just don't believe that Kendrick, or Jake Paul is better than Kendrick. Like, you're gonna have to show me a lot of convincing. A lot of convincing. But I feel like Jake Paul, he probably would, because it's like, what, he's trying to challenge one of the greatest fighters of all time to a boxing match. It wouldn't surprise me if he tried to challenge Kendrick Lamar to a freestyle battle. I'm like, that's, because it's something that's just dumb. Like, and even like getting straight into this boxing fight with him and Conor McGregor, it's dumb, because it's Conor McGregor. You are Jake Paul. Like, now, I will have to admit, Jake Paul, his past recent fights, because he did like 2 fights. He did this one against Nate Robinson, the basketball player, and then he did one against some other YouTuber. Now, both those fights was good. Like, Jake Paul dominated those fights. Now, the part that did, and I guess, like, you know, he did say that he wasn't all that way, like all the way trained for when he did his first boxing match. But I remember when he went up against Deji. Deji is another YouTuber, and Deji was like, I think Deji, because he said the reason why they threw in the towel for that fight, because he was like, I think he said he had like lung issues, or they overall seen that he was tired. But I remember watching that fight again, and I think I was like, just my adrenaline was pumping, and I was so hyped for that fight, because I'm like, yo, this is, like, I'm a fan of Deji. So I'm like, yo, Deji is boxing. Like, this is crazy. Like, today is the day. But I watched that fight again, like, second time around. If it wouldn't have been, like, if the fight would have went on a little bit longer and he would have had, like, a little bit more stamina for the fight, he would have won that fight. He would have won that fight. Jake Paul would have lost. Because I think it was, like, within the first round, Jake Paul was already bleeding. Like, I can't remember. I think it was like of course, like, it was from his nose. But I think Deji had, like, yeah, well, of course, I mean, punched him. He didn't do no other crazy stuff. But yeah, punched him. And I think his nose broke, like, first round. So after that, I know he trained. I know, and I think that probably did get to him. Like, dang, if his stamina would have been up and he wouldn't have been tired, he probably would have won that fight. So I think Jake Paul, like, that's why all his other fights, he has something to prove. Like, he had to win these next few fights in his career, because he's like, yo, if I don't win, people are just going to think I'm a punk. And they're going to be like, oh, he's just that same YouTuber that went up against Deji. He ain't no special fighter. But I think it's going to be the same situation if he goes up against Conor McGregor. Like, I truly do believe, that's why I think he wants to go up against him in a boxing match, because he knows if he goes up against him in a UFC fight, it's over. It is over. Now, he potentially might have a chance in a boxing match. Potentially. I'm not saying that he does have a chance, but he might potentially have a chance in a boxing match against Conor McGregor. But a UFC fight? Oh, he's done. He is done. That's why I'm like, you better be training I think he is training, like, every day. You know, he's on the right track. But I just don't think he's on the right track to go up against somebody like Conor McGregor. And I think the only reason why he wants to go up against somebody go up against Conor McGregor, because he knows Conor McGregor already lost one boxing match. But that's the thing. I remember when I seen Conor McGregor was getting ready to box Floyd Mayweather all those years ago. And I was like, I looked to see if he had any boxing history. Conor McGregor does have boxing history. I think they was like early on in his career, like, he was boxing. So there's that. Like, he has like a boxing background. It just wasn't as famous as his UFC and MMA background, but he does have a boxing background. But I think the only reason why Jake Paul wants to go up against Conor McGregor is because he thinks he can win. And he knows, like, everybody will be talking about that. This nobody YouTuber beats one of the greatest fighters of all time in a boxing match. Like, imagine how much publicity and how much fame he would get after some stuff like that. Everybody would, like, that alone will make more money than Jake Paul has ever seen in his life. And I guess I don't know for sure if it is or not, but I guess if that fight does happen, like, they did the paperwork and all of that, and they estimated how much that fight would be worth, and I think they say it'll be like a $50 million fight if Conor McGregor does go up against Jake Paul. But Jake Paul or Conor McGregor, he is like avoiding Jake Paul. So that's one thing where I'm like, maybe he's just like, yo, this kid's stupid. Like, I don't know who he thinks he is. Like, challenge me to a fight. Like, who is he? Because Conor McGregor, I'm like, bruh, that's like, I feel like that it would be a good fight. It definitely would be a fight I would pay money to see. Because I'm like, you got one of the greatest cocky fighters of all time. And then you got one of the cockiest YouTubers of all time. Like, I just, me personally though, because I know people were to ask me like, who would I think would win between the both? Conor McGregor. Even though Conor McGregor like has only boxed one time. Like, well, we've all seen him just box one time. Like, to everybody else, like people that have known him a little bit longer, you might have seen him box a little bit more. But I believe Conor McGregor will win that fight. That's a fight, and I think even if Jake Paul, even if he loses, like. He loses, but he's still, like, he won. And the reason why I say that, even though if he loses, he still wins, because you went up against Conor McGregor, a YouTuber, and I'm like, Brett, I think he's overall trying to be, like, an undercard or be, like, a bigger fight than his brother, because his brother Logan Paul is going up against Floyd Mayweather next month. So I will be watching that. No doubt about it. I will be watching that. But when is that fight, actually? Let me see. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. That fight will be exhibition. They said Conor McGregor addresses confused little kid Jake Paul. I gotta see about that. I'll probably end up doing a part 2 to that date. February 20th. Okay, I gotta make sure. I'm not doing anything that day because I'm like, bruh, gotta watch that fight. So, but yeah, Logan Paul is going up against Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is obviously gonna win that fight, just like how he's won every other fight. Because Logan Paul, you gotta sit down and think about it. One of the biggest fights of all time for Floyd Mayweather was his fight against Manny Pacquiao. That was the one fight that everybody was wanting to see. Now, even though I personally believe that Manny Pacquiao should have won that fight because I just felt like that he did a little bit more, but I feel like Logan Paul has to understand, like, overall the game behind boxing. Like, if you're going to throw a punch, you got to be, like, extremely, extremely tactical with that punch. You're going to have to study Floyd Mayweather from, like, birth. You gonna have to make sure that you land a scary punch on him so where he's more open or I mean, more so it's like you're gonna have to put him in a situation where he is gonna have to fight. Because that's one thing for sure is that Floyd Mayweather has probably the best defense game in boxing right now. Like, even though he's like semi-retired and stuff, but he still has probably the best defense game in boxing. So you can't be throwing punches left or right, like, because I feel like you will, and then you're going to leave yourself open, you might get knocked out. And that, honestly, I think that would be crazy if Floyd Mayweather knocked out Logan Paul. Because Logan Paul, that's the thing, for those that don't know too much on that fight, Logan Paul got some size to him. Now, his last 2 fights, even though, well, one of them was a draw, and then the other one was a loss, but I do think that Logan Paul is a good boxer. I really do. I think he is a really good boxer. I think he has a chance. His brother is a good boxer too. They're both good boxers. That's one thing I would like to see is that both of them go up against each other, whether it's a sparring match or it's an actual legitimate like pay-per-view match. But I would really love to see them two go up against each other. I feel like that's like the true like who's like the better like brother, and I feel like that both of them got like something to lose if something like that were to happen. Like because if Jake Paul, he loses, then they're going to be like, bro, you got beaten up by your big brother. Like, and your brother, Logan Paul, he doesn't take boxing as serious like Jake. So Logan, he kind of like, he does take it serious, I think, when he is getting ready to get into a boxing fight. But other than that, like outside of boxing, like this dude be living his life. Like I'm a fan. I'm more of a fan of Logan Paul than Jake Paul. So I think, more so because I'm just a fan, I would have to say Logan Paul. But I do think that he will have like a challenge on his hands if he does go up against his brother. And I feel like his brother, he is going to try his hardest to like win that fight. And I feel like that he's just, me personally, I feel like that he's going to go into it like he goes into all his other fights. Jake Paul. I feel like if he were to go up against his brother, he's going to try to be super, super aggressive. It seemed like his brother got like a lot of strength behind him. So if he does go up against his brother, it's like, bro, you're going to have to bring it. Because I feel like that Logan Paul, he's just going to be like eating in hits left and right. Then he's just going to throw that one punch. And I feel like that'll end the whole fight between him and his brother. And I'm all like, okay, he's going to be like, now sit down. And he's all like, because you remember, I'm Logan, you Jake. Like, that's how that fight will end. But anyways, but no, back on Conor McGregor and Jake Paul. So, yeah, I do, because I'm really curious on what Conor McGregor had to say. Because he did talk about Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, if he talked on them, then he's had to talk about Jake Paul, because Jake Paul has been challenging him for I don't know how long now. So, yeah, I'm curious, but let me know who you think will win between the two. And that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys I took my hoodie off, so if my voice kind of sounded a little like muffled out, it was because of me taking my hoodie off. Because I'm like, bro, it's getting warm for some reason. But anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Check out my merch store. A lot of merch is up right now. What other things can I tell y'all? Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow my Twitch channel. I live stream. I've been live streaming every single day, so I think now I can say that I'm like a full-time like streamer. Like I live stream at least at night. Like I live stream late at night. So if you ain't doing nothing the next day, I'm saying, like, come join the stream. Like, I might be on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, though, because I'll post on there letting people know when I'm live. So, anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.